It's the Underpowered Hour. On this week's show, we're joined by two-time silver medalist in men's cross country, Ben Ogden, to talk about skiing and Land Rovering. And now, without further delay, here's the show. Welcome to the Underpowered Hour. I'm Steve Beres, mild-mannered television executive by day and Land Rover collector by night. You can find out more about our cars and what we're working on at theberescollection.com or follow us on Instagram at theberescollection. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Ike Goss.
Thank you to everyone joining us today.
I'm the 7-inch round headlight to Stevens' proprietary Xenon computer-controlled integrated lighting unit. I am the easily replaced host of podcasting, Ike Goss.
I own and operate Pangolin 4x4 in Springfield, Oregon, where we live and breathe Land Rovers. Check us out online on Facebook, Instagram at Pangolin 4x4. Let's get started.
All right, Ike. Well, this week, again, too busy for news. We just have, also, you know what, is there anything really exciting going on right now? I mean, in the world or anything? Probably not. But I'll tell you what is really exciting. There was just recently, I'm not sure if you're familiar with these games that happen every 4 years. A bunch of folks get together in the snow and give each other, a competition, and then somebody gives them medals.
Oh, I think I've heard of this. Is this the Olympic Games that they have every 4 years?
It is, yes.
What?
The Winter Olympics, of course, invented in Greece, where winter is very popular. And by Romans in togas. It was very cold, but they endured. And so we just had the big Winter Olympics there in Italy, which was super fun. And everybody got fun little stuffed animals when they won, which was great. But big news, the United States, for the first time, really in recent memory, in a long time, did incredibly well in the men's cross-country skiing, which is not something the United States is known for. Yeah, 50 years.
50 years.
The last medal. And our friend of the show, Ben Ogden, big Land Rover guy, and now two-time silver medalist.
Two times.
Two different
events.
We got him here on the show. He is going to come and sit down with us.
Why would he do that?
We're going to chat. I don't know. I imagine bad advice from his PR team.
I'm really amazed. He's built an incredible legacy, and then what does he do? The next thing he does, just ruins it all. He's here on the show, and I'm really excited to talk to him.
Absolutely, yeah, me too. So let's dial up the Olympic edition interview machine, and we'll jump in there.
Right on.
All right. Well, we are joined by Olympian and for some reason Land Rover owner, Ben Ogden. Ben, how are you, buddy? You're joining us from overseas. You're still there. It just wrapped up, but you've decided to stay.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be on the podcast. And I'm here in central Sweden, where the race series for me just continues on right after the Olympics. And looking forward to some races coming up in the next few weeks. And then I'll be home mid-March, which feels really far from now, but I don't think it actually is. Hopefully that's going to come up soon.
Well, when you're cross-country skiing, everything seems a little farther than normal. Although I imagine it's much less far for you than it would be for Ike or I, who would die in the first half mile, probably.
That's possible, but no, it does tend to have that effect.
They say that cross-country skiing, which, by the way, is your event. So maybe let's start there. Let's talk a little bit about your event and your Olympics, and then we can talk about your Land Rovers. So first of all, they say cross-country skiing is the most full-body workout that a human being can engage in. So what drew you to cross-country skiing?
Yeah, good question. Certainly the workout. No, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a part of the world where cross-country skiing is, or a part of the country where cross-country skiing is a big part of the culture. There has, up until very recently, been one male cross-country skier to ever win an Olympic medal, and his name was Bill Koch. In 1976. And he grew up in southern Vermont, which was just about a half an hour from where I grew up. And thanks to his sort of like influence and among others, of course, but his influence has really made that part of the world like a big hub for cross country skiing.
Yes.
And so naturally, I went to ski practice after school, and that's how I got into it.
Now, this is interesting. This brings something up. Now, the intersection of these things, Land Rovers and Vermont and cross-country skiing, if you were to make a Venn diagram, it's basically just one circle, right? Like, there's tons of Land Rovers in Vermont. There's tons of cross-country skiing, and everybody seems really excited about it. And I'm not sure why all those things exist in the same place, but I think it's great.
Yeah, it is. The Land Rover is the cross-country skiing of vehicles, I think. It's uncomfortable and requires a lot of aerobic endurance. Yeah, just endurance in general. Yeah, and it's regarded by most of the country as something that someone else does. So,
Yeah, I'd say that about some stuff.
Plus, when your Land Rover inevitably breaks down in the winter, you're just stuck cross-country
You're prepped.
skiing. You have to.
Yeah, you're prepped.
Yeah,
you're ready to go. You're ready to go. You're ready to go. Well, we're burying the lead here a little bit in that, like you mentioned, there was one previous medalist from the United States in cross-country skiing. And now, of course, there are two, because you won a silver medal at this year's Olympics, which is 15 silver medals at this year's Olympics.
Must have been.
The most dedicated American cross-country skier of all time, I think, at this point. But yeah, tell us about that. Tell us about the medals. Tell us about the events. Tell us about those weird little stuffed animals that the Canadian hockey team looked so upset to be handed after they lost that game. It was real sad. I felt worse for them about that than losing the hockey game, honestly. It just felt like insult to injury.
Yeah, that was pretty tough for sure. But no, the Olympics, it was an incredible event all around. I mean, I've been a cross-country skier my whole life, but it's never felt like in vogue as it was at the Olympics this year for a number of reasons. I mean, I think my competitors did a good job at like showcasing their abilities. And just a lot of people were talking about cross-country skiing, which was really cool. And to have some of my best days ever was good timing above all else. But I was lucky enough to take home a silver in men's individual sprint, which was like, for those that don't know a lot about cross-country skiing, which, I'm surprised there are that many, but it was the way that's kind of like the shortest, most. It's not like track sprinting where it's, a 10-second effort. It's, repeated 3-minute efforts over the course of a day where you have like kind of like swimming, you have a qualifying round and then you have a final and so on. So, it's a fun mix of like endurance, fast twitch sprinting, and then like tactics are also a huge part of it. So all those things kind of have to come together on the same day, which makes it so that it's pretty volatile. You can have be on the podium or you can be 40th, back-to-back days. But thankfully, I had one of those good days and was able to get it done, which was really thrilling. And and then shortly after in the team sprint event with my teammate Gus Schumacher, which was really cool, we were silver again, which was so spectacular. And like doing it in a team setting for those of us who, do individual sports for our lifetime is really like a spectacular feeling. I mean, it's so fun to like have your teammate there and have to like count on somebody and also know that somebody's counting on you. It's really good.
That's super cool.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
That's totally, gives it a different dynamic if you're used to doing an individual sport to have that team component to it. Now,
totally.
One thing I've always been curious about is it seems like there's a little bit of like black magic involved in the preparation or the technical component of preparing the skis.
It's funny. I read an article that said that the Team Norway spends more on their skis than the U.S. team does on the entire team and everything. So the fact that, to win a silver medal against a country that is spending like their GDP on cross-country skiing, it seems, that's super impressive. But
Thank you.
There's like a lot of like, I'm picturing proprietary compounds that are applied and, I don't know, sharpening or, tell us a little bit.
Is it your familiarity with leaf springs that made that you feel like really gives you the edge?
It's a similar thing on a different scale for sure. But no, there is a lot that goes into the ski prep, and it's kind of it's a funny thing because like it can be a huge aspect of like given race, or it can be not, like I think everybody's goal is for the ski prep to just get everybody up to a certain tier and everybody's on that tier. And then it's just a race between the athletes. But sometimes you have if Norway nails the skis and the US botches the skis, then all of a sudden, a US athlete has to work that much harder. So, you have that component.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the way the ski prep works is like, you can imagine a cross-country ski is similar to an ice skate in that, like, underneath the ski, where the ski touches the snow, you have a lot of friction and pressure, which takes the water or snow and turns it into water and everything else. And obviously that all changes based on the like snow and how new the snow is and the temperature and snowpack depth and like all this stuff. So what we have going on, like with Norway spending so much on their wax team, it's just like they're chasing like just these tiny percents.
Sure.
And
did they do all kinds of waxing or just ski waxing? Like, could you get a Brazilian wax from the Norwegian team?
You probably could.
Yeah, they've got that. Yeah.
They got to raise all that money somehow. So
that's right. Wax experts, those guys. Wow.
Yeah. Really. Anything wax, they'll do it.
They'll do it.
But no, yeah. So the return that they get for that money is they just have competitive skis a huge percentage of the time. So for us, like going into the Olympics, we like really prioritize these events so that we can just get up to that tier for the big days. And of course, we do everything we can to be as good as we can every day when it comes to wax service. But for the sprint, like we had a great day, which was huge on the service side.
So you have a team of people that prep your skis for you based on all these criterias. Like they have a flow chart and they're like, if this condition is met, then do this, etc. Is that how that works?
Exactly.
Then, so how much of your personal preference goes into that? Like, do you get to dictate how you like them or they just do it?
No, yeah. So it's a combination. The way it usually works is like all of us ski on a certain brand. So like, for instance, I ski on a Norwegian ski company called Madshus, but a lot of people ski on Fisher or Atomic or whatever it may be. And within that, the brands send us like a fleet of skis and we'll have maybe like, I don't know, 20 pair of skis, for instance, between skate and classic, warm, cold, all the different types.
Yeah.
And then within that 20 pair, yes, like I said, we have subcategories. And like, for instance, on the sprint day here at the Olympics, it was like, on the warm side, man-made snow. So it was like there was no crystal element of the snow. So that kind of sets you into a certain category of ski. And then maybe now we have like 6 pairs of skis, for instance. And then within the 6, what happens, I have like a wax tech who will prep. He'll look at a 6 pair and he'll say, okay, well, we've raced on, only 2 of these pairs. So we're going to do the 2 that Ben's liked before, and then we're going to do 2 different ones. And we're going to prep those. And then we're going to take them out to the snow and test them. And that's where I come in. I meet and try out all 4 pairs. Then, I'll see how they feel like based on pure speed, like stability, how easy they are to stand on, how easy they corner. Everything like that. And then I'll choose based on that and then take those skis. And if I can't choose, then we do this fun little thing where we like go down the hill. Each of us takes a pair, go down a hill and hold hands until we're going the exact same speed and then let go. And whoever creeps ahead.
Oh, interesting.
Pretty funny thing. So you come to an Norway ski race, you're going to see all these guys holding hands down the hill and you're like, what the heck are they doing?
What a very collegiate sport.
I'm actually not surprised by that at all.
That's great. Yeah. That's how Ike and I work on most of the Land Rovers as well. It's a hand-in-hand kind of thing as well.
Exactly.
A lot of that. So Land Rovers have been kind of a big part of skiing Olympics. They're a sponsor of the Olympic ski team, if I'm not mistaken, still to this day. But they started, I think, in 1960. We have another customer in California. Her name is Pia McIsaac, and she was on the Olympic ski team in 1960, and Land Rover was a sponsor then. And she saw her, future, favorite vehicle. They filmed a lot of the events. That was the first Olympics where they filmed and televised the events. And they had like platforms built on Series Land Rovers that they were filming.
No way.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And they transported like athletes from the accommodations to the competitions in Land Rovers. And so she's like, oh man, well, I don't understand why Land Rover has been such a long time supporter of Olympic skiing, but I find it to be interesting, intersection of things, and they still do it. So what do they do for you? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I did not know that about the Series Land Rovers at that Olympic, but I'll have to do some research because that is freaking cool. But no, what Land Rover doesn't do, Land Rover like 2025 or 2026 iteration doesn't do a whole lot for me. I mean, they support some of the teams that I'm a part of, so that's huge.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And those teams like support me with like helping with the wax techs and the budget there and stuff like that. So that's a huge
That's cool.
perk. So that's how it trickled down to me. But, they don't outfit me in a 2026 Land Rover. But to be honest, I'm not all that fussed about it because
you don't want a 2026 Land Rover.
No, I don't. The real way that Land Rover supports me is by having awesome old vehicles and just the basis for like the most epic fun project. So I don't know if we want to go down that rabbit hole just yet, but
I'm excited too. I want to hear all about your project. Now, I have to admit that, the first time we really talked in any length, you like totally undersold yourself. I was like, oh, what are you doing in Vermont? And you're like, I kind of like, just like coach skiing a little bit sometimes maybe or something. I can't even remember.
Just occasionally win a silver medal. Not a big deal or anything, but it is,
just like totally undersold himself. But talk to us a little bit about your Land Rover project. It's a Series 3, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Nice.
It is. Yeah. I'm so excited about it. I mean, it's kind of funny when I was in college, I lived this sort of double ski and athlete life and it really worked well for me. Like, I think that being an athlete is great because you have this awesome competitive outlet and stuff, but it's not so great when it's just like the only thing that you fixate on all the time. And when I graduated college, I was kind of aware, I was going down this professional skiing route and I was aware of how like, if I didn't get something to sort of give me an outlet outside of skiing, I was going to not be the happiest. So my uncle, who had worked with Lanny Clark in Vermont on a Land Rover project in like the 90s, mentioned to me that he read that Lanny was looking to retire and sell off all of his vehicles. So he sort of set us up and I went over to Lanny's house and checked out all of his cars and we really hit it off and just had a good time. And I ended up buying, he refers to them as one of his derelicts, but it was like one of his parts cars from
They're all that way, to be fair, even the ones on the road. So it's, it's fine.
Lanny's also great. I've known Lanny for years and years and we've collaborated on a bunch of projects. I've sent him a bunch of stuff and he's been super awesome for the Land Rover community. He's come to visit a few times. I really like Lanny. He's got a great outlook.
Yeah, I really like him too. And I was really struck by like how, he was very humble and just sort of your typical Vermonter, but really just creates a fantastic product. I mean, the restorations that he has done to my untrained at the time and now partially trained eye were really spectacular. So I really was inspired seeing that whole thing. So I bought one of his derelicts, which a Series 3, 1973. He sort of had said it was a good candidate for a project. I didn't know a lot about Land Rovers at the time, but he said it was a good candidate for a project because it was an 18,000 mile original vehicle. It had been on the coast, Massachusetts, so it was heavily rusted.
It's good, yeah.
In the steel area.
Candidate, yeah. A good candidate, yeah.
Yeah. Great project, except for the structure.
Yeah, except for like almost every single part about it. And it also had been a couple collisions, which was nice.
Voluntary, some involuntary,
Yeah, I didn't know. I was just like, well, Lenny knows that he says it's a good idea. Do it. And
Lenny needed to get rid of some shit. So
and he was like, oh, this guy's primed up to be taken advantage of, and there I was. But to be fair, I've gotten my money's worth in terms of help from Lanny. He might have thought that was the last thing you could hear from me, but far from it.
Little did he know.
We've been in touch pretty much every single day ever since.
Excellent.
Awesome. But no, I don't think it bothers him. And so I walked away with a Series 3. That hadn't run in 12 years. It was the full deal. And since then, it's just been this like unbelievably awesome project. And it is like, it has served that purpose for me that I laid out, like where, it's just been an outlet for me where I can come home from training and good day, bad day, whatever, come home from the season after a good season, bad season, and just get lost in the Land Rover, which is so key for me. It's awesome. I love it.
No, that's interesting. I basically talk on the phone and send emails for a living, right? And the idea of connecting back to something that is very mechanical, that is in most cases very frustrating, but it does allow you to kind of, subtract yourself from your day to day in a way that I think, it's like super healthy. You need that, and in today's world, we do so little like truly with our hands, and truly, not a lot of people are, making cars except for Ike, but that doesn't really count, for a living. And so, I think it's really, I agree with you completely. Like it's a real escape, an escape into feudalism, but an escape nonetheless.
Yeah. I definitely have had moments of being like, wearing my coveralls when I was first taking it apart, like the oxyacetylene was out every single day. And I was just like, what am I doing? This is so stupid. But I mean, there's also been this like awesome highs. Like when I first got the motor going after I rebuilt it, I mean, like, honestly, it like that feeling was close to equal or greater than like my first World Cup podium or like any of these ski accomplishments. I mean, I was like high
and probably
on
the
life.
same amount of work as well. So
maybe more.
That's really cool. No, so you're pretty far along in this project. I saw a couple pictures that you posted on your Instagram. So where is it at currently? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I've hammered out all the dents and redone everything on the body. I learned how to weld Land Rover aluminum, which I know Ike says it's not too hard, but it was not easy for me to figure out.
Ike is also like a savant welder, so it is sort of anything Ike says is not that hard to weld is I wouldn't take that as a guiding principle necessarily.
It's sweet of you to say,
but it is it is an art for sure. Especially the older and more oxidized it is, the more fun that weld becomes.
And the thinner too.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yep.
But I got all the body straightened out the way I want it, and it's all painted, or else, short of maybe a few odds and ends, it's all painted in marine blue.
If I had marine blue, my first stage one was marine blue.
I actually had, this is a little bit of a side note, but I had a crazy thing happen. So, Land Rovers come apart, obviously, as you both know.
Yes,
in the small
they come
pieces.
apart easy. It's the putting back together that's hard, but they come
for
apart.
sure.
Yep.
So, I've been sort of like painting as I go, just the small pieces, and the paint is expensive. And at first I was like, all right, I'm going to buy the nice paint because I'm putting all this work into it, So I bought the PPG concept paint in the marine blue and the color that I liked and everything. And just bought a gallon of it because I was like, God, $1,100 a gallon. All right, we'll just buy a gallon. So
expensive paint,
So I bought a gallon of it. And then while that gallon was being used, the PPG discontinued the concept line, and you couldn't buy the tints. So it was like I got half the car painted in this one type of paint, and then I couldn't get any more. And it was just like such a nightmare working with them, trying to get a paint match in a different line. And it was the worst. But anyhow, finally got a paint match that I think is good enough. Lanny was like, I think it's going to be fine. And I don't know. It's something to deal with when I get home, actually. But so I've got the whole car painted, and I rebuilt the whole drivetrain, the motors rebuilt, transmission, both axles. The bulkhead obviously is all done. That was a huge project. And let's see. Now it's really just like I need to do the wiring. I need to sort out all the headlights and tail lights and reverse lights and everything else. And tackle all that. I've done all the brakes and clutch and all the lines for that. So
very cool.
I'm feeling close, but I'm also feeling like there's some hurdles ahead of me. So
well, talk to us a little bit about that. What are you missing? What do you need?
Because we'll go out to the yard right now and we'll scrounge up. Chances are I ran over it the last time I was up at Ike's. So
perfect. What do I need? I need odds and ends for the Series 3 dashboard or interior, I guess.
Okay,
is what I should say. Lanny really is my guy for parts, and he's a pretty strict Series 2A only.
Metal dash or die. And actually, that is how you die most often, is by that metal dash.
Absolutely.
It goes through your face.
So
totally.
Some of those dash pieces are pretty difficult to get. How's your dash top?
My dash top is good.
Personal
my lower
question,
dash,
Mike. I don't know. It's a family show, but
my lower dash was extremely rotted, but I rebuilt that whole thing. And actually, I had both lower and upper reupholstered, which was pretty
nice.
cool.
Yeah.
The upper I did myself, and then the lower I had somebody do because I was like, yeah, I'll just leave it with him for the winter. And he sent me some pictures and they look really good. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, it's like so many of the plastic bits were just like broken or broke when I took them apart. So I'm looking for the trim that goes on either side and yeah, various other things like that. But
we'll tell you what, send me a list. I'm pretty sure I have all that stuff. I'd be happy to send it to you. It sounds like it's going to a good home. So just let us know what little plasticky bits. I have the like binnacle piece that the gauges go into. I'm pretty sure I have those end caps. I have a lot of that stuff. So just send me a list if you wouldn't mind, and I'll go through. I'll send you a little care package with all that stuff in it.
oh, thank you. That would be so awesome. I really, and yeah, that'd be really cool. And yeah, it'd be sweet. And I meant to say I'm planning my Bend training camp for this spring, and I'm going to factor in more time to come to Springfield because last time I was there for way too short.
It was a little bit of a lightning round, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Well,
sure.
we'll take we got to do a pilgrimage, do some proper Oregon off-roading. I'll come up and you guys will get something stuck unreasonably and abandon it there. It's going to be great.
Oh, that would be a dream.
Couple quick things that are not Land Rover related. So I noticed on your Instagram there's some other vehicles possibly that you're also into. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to just kind of be the car guy on Instagram a little bit. In the ski world, it's an easy guy to be.
Good to know.
But no, I've got a little collection going. I have my first car actually is a 1986 Toyota 4Runner, with the removable top. So that thing's my baby. It's got the 22 RE, which I think is really cool. It was like the first motor I ever really worked on.
Is that the last one that's in Vermont that exists? I feel like all the rest of them are just totally dissolved.
Yeah, it seriously is. And, it's like my profession is so perfect to be a first-gen 4Runner owner in Vermont because I just like hide it away in the barn all winter and it doesn't see any of that salt.
Right, because you're dry. You're somewhere else in the world all the time. So,
exactly.
You're not right. Oh, that makes sense.
I have no need for a winter car, which is really convenient when you like old, cool cars.
Geez, that's really, that's a big revelation for those Land Rover owners out there. Just become professional skiers and you don't need to worry about driving your Land Rover on the East Coast in the winter or in any part of Canada. That's there you go.
I'm surprised more people haven't thought of that. But anyhow, my 4Runner is choice. That thing's awesome. And then I'm also a big Volvo fan. That's why I love Sweden too. I just love Volvos.
Right.
So yeah, I have for my attempt at a practical car, a Volvo XC70 2005 with the turbo motor, which is a cool car. I mean, it's like, I wish it was a manual, but obviously you can't get that in the US. But I see them here in 6-speed all the time. And I'm just like, oh, that would be a sweet car. But anyhow, that one's pretty cool. And then I've also had a couple 240s, which are really fun. They're like rear-wheel drive donut machines.
Yeah. Those are fantastic. And they're the only thing that really approaches a Land Rover in terms of aerodynamics.
That's exactly right. And and wanting us to roll over. Yeah. It's interesting. Are you into any of the Volvo big trucks, that kind of stuff, or like the things that kind of look like Pinskowers? Like I imagine over there in Sweden it's just like everybody's driving one of those things,
Oh yeah. I mean, I appreciate them when I see them. I mean, especially here in Sweden. The Volvo stuff is awesome. Like I saw this yesterday, crazy, huge, like it was almost like a mining front end loader, all black, like totally murdered out Volvo loader, which was pretty cool. And yeah, you see the Volvo pickup or the Volvo semis here. Yeah. Those things are really cool. Yeah. And then also the Swedish military had all kinds of different, I've seen a Volvo 6x6, military looking truck, almost like a Mercedes, what you would think Mercedes would make for the Germans, but the Volvo edition, I don't know. And I have pictures built up
briefly.
Did you?
Over the years. Really?
Yeah.
A Mercedes one?
No, a Volvo one, a C306.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Had a Land Rover 2.8 TGV turbo diesel installed inside of it. So
okay, sure.
No way.
In that way. Yeah, totally.
Wow, that is cool.
I've had a ton of all those. I've had the Soga. Are you familiar with those? They're kind of like a Cold War command car thing. They look like a 40s taxi cab with a truck chassis. Those things are neat too.
I didn't know they had a chassis. They have that that old school taxi look, I can imagine.
Totally, but they're obviously 4-wheel drive and have big tires, and it's like a cartoon car. It's like Mad Max. Those things are I love that stuff.
Nice.
And
yeah,
then,
no, I'm a fan.
Are you also into motorcycles? Did I see some motorcycles on there?
Yeah, I dabble. I've had a couple Hondas, mostly when I was younger. Like the motorcycles were the easy way to get into the mechanical stuff. I've always wanted to. Yeah, I've always wanted to like learn how an engine worked and a transmission works and everything else. And I find, or I don't know, the best way
certainly
to do it,
Land Rover
today,
ownership sort of forces that upon you. So right,
yeah, for sure. But I wanted to learn, and the best way to do it is just take something apart. So I have had a couple motorcycles. I had a Honda XL 175. That was when I was really young for bombing around the field. They're like funny little single cylinder, not like quite dirt bike, not quite adult motorcycle for the road, but there's something in between. That one was pretty cool. I briefly had a CB 550 Honda.
All right.
That one was that was kind of where I was like, this is a little scary.
Totally
fast. For my standards, that was a fast motorcycle. But yeah, I want to get I'd like to get another dirt bike. They're fun to work on and kind of fun to have around. But
dirt bikes are awesome. I love dirt bikes. Now, one final thing I am curious about. I read that you're super into knitting.
Oh,
yes, indeed.
Wow.
Knitting is my Land Rover project for when I'm not home. It's
interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's people are always asking me about it, and I just have the kind of brain that like really enjoys projects, and like just especially like when you need to relax. Like for me, there's no faster and more enjoyable way than to just like get lost in a project. And like if I could bring Legos on the road, or if I could bring a carburetor on the road, I would, because that's a great way to do it. But I found not too long, or a year or so ago, knitting kind of scratches that itch a little bit. And it's cool, like it's one of those things, like everything in the Land Rover world, where it's slow and painful and kind of frustrating and takes forever, but like at the end of when you're done, you make a cool product,
right?
And that I'm motivated by that. And I also I like having a project, so I've been doing a lot of knitting.
No,
that's really cool. That's super cool.
I think a lot of people they do a crossword puzzle or a word search or a Sudoku or whatever, and at the end of the day you don't really have anything for all that effort. So I think it's cool, you do something with knitting, you keep your brain occupied, but at the end of the day you have something, and whether that's for you or to give to somebody, it's neat. Yeah, so I totally dig that. So what's your most ambitious knitting project?
Let's see. I'll grab it and show you guys, but I know it is
a Series III Land Rover.
I'd like to do that.
This is why you have to come to the YouTube channel to see this, because
to get the full experience.
You got to get the full knitting experience. Wow.
Yeah, so this is a sweater that I knit.
Amount of sweater there. What?
This year.
Oh my God, that's a good looking sweater.
Thank you. I'm super proud of it. And this is exactly the thing. Like when I first started knitting, so here we go.
That is cool.
There it is.
That is
all gray.
Cool.
It's one color, but I'm really happy. And it's just like, like this. It's all wool. It's warm, super warm. It doesn't get wet. Yeah. It's just like a highly functional and stylish item.
Yeah, well, sure.
And
especially in Sweden, I'm sure this is the talk of the town there. Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God. People, girls love it. Like it's just,
it's a chick magnet.
Totally.
Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just love, the satisfaction of starting with like you started, here's,
yeah, totally.
It's just yarn. It's just like a long string, and then you turn it into something that you can wear and keep you warm. And I just love it. It's so like the Land Rover, where like the Land Rover was just, and not in Lanny's eyes, but in the eyes of like everybody in the world other than like you guys and Lanny. Yeah, it was just garbage. It was like ready for the junkyard. Yeah,
no, it's garbage in our eyes too. It's just some kind of dysfunction.
I like this on something that really speaks to me, and that is, taking something that people overlook or think is not worth the effort and making it into something that they're actually legitimately jealous not to own. I love that process, and I love doing that, and all it takes is like some elbow grease in most cases.
Totally.
So it's super
and people
rewarding.
are always so astonished when they sort of see the progress, and I don't do it to impress other people, but that feels really good, because it's just so cool to be able to like take something and create this like astonishing product. And that's what I love about the Land Rover project. It really is. And like, I think the final product will be really cool, but it's been fun like every step of the way. It's even like, maybe I like take the little oil bath air filter, right? And that thing's all rusty and gross and covered in this and leaking and everything else. You take it off, And you clean it and you do this and you maybe like weld a little and grind a little and then you paint it and then you put it back on and it looks brand new. And people are like, "Oh, where'd you buy that? Oh, you can still buy things like that?" I'm like, "No,
Right. No.
I built that." And like that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. It is cool. It is super cool. So I can completely relate to that, and I appreciate what you're doing. And then, like you said, the knitting is really a parallel thing to that. I can't knit, but I'm super jealous of the sweater. That thing's rad.
Oh, it's so cool. I love it. Yeah.
Well, speaking of things that are cool, without more further ado, are you ready for the lightning round?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. I just say whatever comes to mind.
Sure.
That's right.
Well,
there's going to be a series of questions with fast answers. That's
fast answers.
Really gets to the heart of it.
All right. You ready?
Perfect. Yes.
Bronze green or sand glow yellow?
Bronze green.
Nice.
Ooh, okay.
Petrol
Nice.
or diesel?
Petrol. I'm going to say petrol because petrol screams Land Rover.
Okay.
But often I would say diesel. But I'm not interested in diesel Land Rovers. So I'm going to go petrol.
All right. Okay. Good to know.
Coil springs or leaf springs?
Leaf.
Hard top or soft top?
Hard top.
All right.
Hard top.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mud or snow?
Mud. I'm going to go mud.
What?
All right.
I did
Wow.
not expect that.
No, that's
Surprising.
a surprising
I know.
answer. Yeah.
That is
Wow.
surprising. All right. And the best way to remove gear oil from your underpants?
Oh, parts washer?
Parts washer.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you got them all right. Well,
That's right. Well done. That's
Yes.
100%. Ben, that is
Appreciate it.
well done. Definitely a podium finish in the lightning round. Ben, thank you so much for joining us from across the world in the midst of heated season over there. Congratulations again on your medals. Congratulations on bringing cross-country skiing to a wider audience. Definitely, there is more awareness of it here in the United States, I think, this year than there has been ever. And being from Canmore, Alberta, cross-country skiing is very close to my own heart. So thank you for that. And please, let's have you on again. And we want to know both the progress of this Land Rover project, the Series 3, as well as the sweaters. And so we'll look forward to that. So in the meantime, stay safe out there, stay warm, and good luck and Godspeed.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having
Ben.
me. And talk to you guys soon.
all right. Appreciate your time.
All right. Well, man, what a fantastic guy and very accomplished knitter. Is that what you say? Do you say a knitter?
Yeah.
Is that what you are when you partake in knitting?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I have to say, coming
There's
in
probably
cold.
there's probably a
Wouldn't guess that.
specific word for that. Someone who knits.
Knitterite?
It's not haberdasher, but it's
Sure.
gotta be.
Oh,
something
right.
in
Yeah,
there.
right. Like a Milner or a haberdasher or one of those kind of old timey words.
Yeah.
We should have asked, man.
Well,
Next time.
had a lot of fun chatting with him. He's got a lot of interesting stuff to say, and the way he approaches all of his projects, not just skiing, is
That's right.
really commendable. Really enjoyed that.
And I appreciate the long-term attention to detail kind of project that it sounds like he is working on with that Series 3. I love the color. Obviously, that's one of my all-time favorites, and I think it's going to be a super, super fun project. So go follow Ben on Instagram and keep up with his builds, with his skiing, and with his knitting. And we'll certainly have him back. I'd love to, we've definitely got to have him up to Oregon and go.
He's coming to Bend. He's
Go
coming to
booting
Bend.
around.
So we'll do some Land Rovering, and maybe he can show me how to ski. That'd be fun.
Oh, that's really, I think that needs to be some Patreon content right there. I can't wait. Well, at that, as always, it's been great. Another great show, really a podium finish for this one. And we will talk to you next week.
All right. See you on the trail, Steven.
The Underpowered Hour is produced by Liza Beres, Ike Goss, and me, Steve Beres. Pavel Svardov composed and performed our theme music. Consider supporting the show on Patreon, and if you already do, thank you. Your support makes the show possible. For even more, check out our Instagram or Facebook.